And just let your legs go long. Let your arms come down by your sides, palms face up. Just allow your body to settle. If you're feeling tense or wiggly, you're going to shake out your hands, arms, move your hips, shrug your shoulders, look right, look left. And then really land. Yeah, and then everyone on Zoom, if you can just put your video on, that'd be great so I can see you. Awesome. So let's start by really connecting to the body, going deep into the breath. So with your eyes closed, take a deep breath in through your nose. And then let a big sigh out through your nose. So usually I would say sigh out through the mouth. So in person, we'll keep our mouth closed. If you're at home, you can exhale out of the mouth. So take a deep breath in through your nose. And then a long exhale out through your nose. Breathe in. Let go. Now maybe you place your hands on your belly and really feel your belly expand as you breathe in and then contract as you breathe out. Exhale. So full breath in. Full breath out. So you can make your inhale a little longer. Breathe in. And exhale. Now place your hands on your side ribs, kind of underneath your chest by your rib cage, and then see if you can breathe into your side ribs. It's almost like thumbs on your back, first fingers on your front. Yeah, and then see if you can breathe into your ribs and expand your ribs out to the side. Inhale. Exhale. Almost like you're making your ribs move out to the sides. Breathe in. And then exhale. See if you can breathe into your hands, the side ribs. Inhale. And exhale. Again, like that. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now place your hands on your chest, kind of right underneath your collarbones. Good, and then see if you can breathe into your chest. Inhale. Exhale. Almost like you'd exaggerate this movement, breathing into your hands and your chest. Inhale. Good, exhale. Full breath in. Complete breath out. Now let your arms relax down by your sides and see if you can put that all together. So inhale down into your low belly, expand out to the ribs, up into your chest, and then exhale the chest, the ribs, and the belly. Again, breathe in, low belly, ribs, chest. Exhale the chest, ribs, belly. Two more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Now, as we move in our practice today and go through different poses, see if you can really keep your focus on your breath. Breathing in deeply, exhaling deeply. And let your breath really be your guide. And just tapping into how the body feels now. Just taking a moment to notice, experience how you feel, what's going on. And see if you can make space for however you're feeling right now. Whether it's tired, irritated, stressed, or if you're feeling really balanced and happy and grounded. Whatever you're feeling, just with non-judgment, label and notice how you feel. Inhale and exhale. Now start to wiggle your fingers and toes here. Roll out your ankles and wrists a little. Turn your head gently side to side. And then stretch your arms overhead. Stretch your feet down long. Reach your body up and down, top to bottom. Really stretch. And then bend your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. And start to rock side to side. Just back and forth, side to side. Maybe draw your knees in and then release your legs away from you a little. Yeah, it's almost like you're giving your low back a little massage, side to side, forward and back. You circle around. And now let your knees drop over to the right. Open your arms out to a T and gaze to the left. So spinal twist. A little twist in your low, mid, upper back. Maybe you feel an opening and stretch along the front of the chest there. And slowly come back to center, hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a little squeeze. You can rock side to side. And let your knees drop over to the left. Arms open to a T, gaze to the right, twist. Breathe in. Letting go. And then come back to center one more time. Knees drawn into your chest. And then grab behind your thighs. Start to rock a little up and down along your spine, up and down. And rock all the way up into a seated position. Nice and tall. Move your seat a little side to side here. Reach your knee a little forward and back. And again, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can always stretch your legs straight out. Good. Bring your shoulders up towards your ears, so go around, back and down, little circles, up, back, and around. And one more up, back, and around. Give your shoulders a little shake at the bottom. And then reach your arms down by your sides. Inhale, stretch your arms out to the sides and up. And then exhale, bring your hands together and slowly lower your hands down to your heart. Maybe the thumbs touch the center of your chest. And here, just allow yourself to get still, grounded, and choose an intention for your practice today. So something you want to focus on. You can call in a word or a phrase. Maybe a word like I'm balanced, or I'm healthy, I'm healing. Choose a word like strength or focus. Full breath in. Exhale. And then press your palms together and stretch your arms up. Good. And then reach your arms out and down by your sides. Good. Bring your hands down by your sides and move your seat a little side to side. So whether you cross legs or straight legs, you can just kind of shift a little side to side. And then bring your hands behind you, kind of onto your booty, and just like move some flesh away from your sitting bones. Good. And then if you're really tight, kind of round the back, maybe you bend your knees a little bit. So tall. Good. Reach your arms out by your sides. And inhale, stretch your arms up. And then exhale, float your arms down. So starting to connect the breath and the movement. Inhale, arms. So arms stretch down. One more time, inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale, take a twist to the right. Good. Inhale, get nice and tall. Good. And then exhale, twist. Maybe look over your right shoulder. Good. And then slowly come back to center. Arms come down by your side. Inhale, stretch them up. And then exhale, gentle twist in the other direction. Inhale. Exhale to twist. Good. Come back to center. Good. Bring your left hand down by your side. Stretch your right arm up and over. So side bend. You can pull that top shoulder back. Maybe roll your top wrist a little. And lift up and then switch sides. Arm reaches up and over. Maybe roll that wrist. Come back to center. Now from here, bring your arms out in front of you. Round your spine back. Good, lift up and then arch your spine forward, almost like a cow pose. Good, so round back and cat, starting to warm up the spine. Good, lift up and then shift forward, cow. Come to center and then swing your legs around to find tabletop position on all fours. Spread your fingers wide, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Good, and then just take a moment here to really pull your front body, your back body. So you might kind of feel like a natural tilt of your belly down. So see if you can kind of firm and straighten with a flat back position. Good, and now tuck your toes, cow pose, your belly sink towards the floor, gaze forward or up. You're going to draw your shoulders down your back. Good, and then point your toes and round your spine for cat, chin to chest. Round, round, round. Good, again, tuck your toes, arch your spine, draw your shoulders down, gaze forward, up, cow. Good, and then point your toes, round your spine, cat, chin in. Last one, inhale, cow pose. Shift a little forward, gaze forward, up, relax your face. Good, point your toes, round your spine, cat. Then come to a neutral tabletop position and then press back to a wide knee child's pose. Big toes touch, knees go wide. Send your hips to your heels and stretch your arms forward. See if you can get your forehead to the floor. Good, breathing in, letting go. Okay, Grace is here, great. So always remember, if you need to take a break, rest, you can come back to child's pose, this position, lie on your back in Shavasana. If you're feeling really tired today and what your body needs is rest, feel free to rest, but try to kind of go along with as much as you feel like you might be able to. Really feel that stretch in your back. See if again you can stretch your arms a little farther forward, draw your hips back a little more. And then lift up onto your fingertips, lift your gaze, and walk your upper body over to the right. So you can walk your hands off the mat. Yeah, and then kind of fold over that right leg, maybe the left ear rests. Maybe kind of pull with your right hand, press with your left. And here, see if you can feel a stretch through the left side, kind of in your low back. Good, lift your gaze, come up on fingertips, walk your way to center, and then over to the left. Feel stretch through your right side. Again, you pull with your right hand, press with your left. And then up on your fingertips and back to center, child's pose. Good. Rise up to all fours, tabletop position. From here, stretch your right leg back, tuck your toes, and then lift your right leg up to a hover. Good. Now see if you can stretch your left arm forward. So opposite arm and leg, reach. And then lower down. Good, stretch your left leg back behind you, tuck your toes. Good, and then lift that leg up, stretch your right arm forward, opposite arm and leg, lengthen. Good, and then lower down, and just move your hips a little side to side. Good, so again, right leg stretches back, stretch your left arm forward, hold here. And then option to add on, round your elbow and knee into center, and then extend it forward and back. Elbow, knee, draw in. Reach forward and back. One more time like that. Reach. Good. Lower. Table pose. Move your hips from side to side. Good. Find center, pause. And then other side. Left leg stretches back. Right arm stretches forward. Reach. Good. Now you can hold it here. Add on. Elbow, knee, draw in. Stretch forward and back. Elbow, knee, squeeze in. Extend forward and back, again, draw in. Reach, one more. Open, good, lower, table pose, move your hips side to side. Now look down at your hands, spread your fingers wide, make big palms. Like you're gonna press your hand into cement or into sand, so you can get the whole outline of your hand down on the mat. And especially pressing into the base, that first finger and thumb knuckle, so sometimes the hand kind of wants to loosen, so really press down here. First finger faces forward, or you can even turn your fingers out a little bit. Good, tuck your toes and lift your hips to downward dog. Good. So making a shape like an upside down V. Good. Lift your heels nice and high. Good. And then lower your heels down. Lift up onto your tiptoes. Heels go high. Now bend your knees. Press your chest toward your thighs. Yeah. Then lift your hips a little bit higher. And then back. And then straighten your legs. Heels down. Down dog. Good. Lift high up onto your tippy toes and shift forward into plank position. Top of a push-up, high plank. Now see if you can just move a little forward and back. Good. Yeah, just shift forward and back, holding your plank. Try to keep your hips level. Good. Hold, pause. Downward facing dog. Good. Then just come onto your knees for a second and just kind of squat, take a break. So I think like a natural way to do plank is kind of like this. So see how my shoulders are kind of bowed and my hips are kind of low. So you want to think about kind of rounding and bringing your hips in line with your shoulders. Really pop your shoulder blades up. So come back into plank. And you can even spin around so you can see yourself on the side in the mirror. So everyone bring your hands onto the side of the mat, face the chalkboard wall, so spin around. Good, and then do a plank pose and see if you can see yourself in the mirror. Yeah, and just kind of notice your alignment. Good. Yeah, so Trevor, think about kind of bringing your low belly in a little. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and see if you can hold here. You got this. Right, turn to the other way. You can, you can. You can. Nice. Hold, hold, hold. Still holding. Good. Now lower your knees down and then spin around to face forward. Good. Hands come down, hips lift down dog. So one more time, shift forward to plank pose. Now here we'll do our yogi push-up. So elbows hug in. You can drop your knees or right from here, do tricep push-ups. Squeeze into your sides. Good. And then lower all the way to the belly. Stretch your legs back behind you. Now stretch your arms along by your side, bring your palms face in. And then inhale with your chest, arms, legs, lift. And then think about getting length here, balance, strengthening through your backside. Keep breathing. And then lower down. Stretch your arms forward in front of you. Good. And you're going to reach your arms forward, reach your legs back. Maybe forehead is facing the ground. Good. And now see if you can lift your right arm and your left leg up to a hover. And then lower, left arm and right leg reach. And lower. So opposite arm, leg, something like that, up. And then down, lift, lower. So strengthening the back a little bit. So you can lift your legs straight back. Almost lift to the top of the thigh. Good. Keep going. Good. Lower everything down. And now lift everything up. Good. And then lower, bring your hands down by your sides in a cobra position. So your hands are kind of by your ribs. Inhale, lift up cobra. Now see if you can lift your hands. Good. So you're using your strong back muscles. So you can keep the tops of the feet pressing down. And then lower. Press down into your hand. And then inhale, lift up a little bit higher. So keep your elbows kind of bent. Maybe move your hips side to side. Look right, look left. Good, and then slowly lower all the way down. Press into your hands, tuck your toes. From here, see if you can reverse push up into plank pose. Nice, and then downward dog. Walk your feet back to meet, walk your hands back to meet your feet. Come to the back of the mat and forward fold. Bend your knees, let your upper body hang, get heavy. Maybe sway a little side to side. And then lengthen your spine, look forward, halfway wedge, bring your hands to your shins. Good, fold. Bring your feet together, bend your knees, and slowly stretch your arms out to the sides and all the way up. Hold your arms lifted, and at the top, kind of stretch your right side, stretch through your left. Reach, reach, reach. Good, and then sweep your arms down by your sides. Standing well in your mountain pose. Think about drawing your shoulders up, back and around, kind of lifting through your chest. And see if you can just relax your arms down, round to the bottoms of your feet, and notice how it feels to just stand without kind of moving or touching or like moving your weight to one side. Maybe actually bring your feet about hip width distance apart So just standing really well. And maybe just close your eyes for a moment here. Think about bringing your shoulders back over your hips, weight down in your heels. Breathe in and breathe out. Think about relaxing your shoulders and chest. Relax your face. Breathe in and breathe out. Now you can open your eyes. Inhale, stretch your arms out to the sides and up. And then exhale, slowly lower your arms down to your sides. So yoga is all about connecting the breath and the movement. So maybe close your eyes and think, inhale, arms lift, exhale, arms lower. So ready? Inhale. And exhale. Nice and slow. Inhale, arms stretch up, out to the sides. And exhale, arms flow out to your sides and down. One more time. Inhale, arms stretch up. Now this time, take your right hand to your left wrist, stretch tall, and hinge up and over to the right. Feel a little side bend. Maybe that top shoulder draws back, chin can lift. Good, back to center. Take a little bend of your knees and switch your grip. Left hand, right wrist. Reach up and then over to the left. Maybe that top shoulder draws back. Good, back to center. Bend your elbows to like a cactus position. Open your chest. And then see if you can press your hips forward a little, like a back bend. Good, come to center, pause, and then bend your knees and forward fold. Let your hands come to the mat. Let your upper body hang and get heavy. Shake your head, a little yes, a little no. Nice little sway here. Relax your head, good. And then bring your hands up to your shins. Look forward and lengthen. Fold. Stretch your arms out to the sides as you rise all the way to stand. Stretch up, lift up. Good, and then hands come down to your heart. Tadasana. Breath in. And long, slow breath out. Now lower your arms down by your side. Feet are hip-width distance apart, so you can kind of measure that like 2 fists between your feet. Good, bend your knees and squat down. Kind of sit your seat back, like you're gonna sit in a chair. Notice what your knees are doing, so you can keep your knees kind of tracking forward. So squat down and then kind of straighten your legs and stand up. You can let your knees, your arms kind of sway. So you can squat down, stand up, squat down, stand up. Squat down and hold it here. See if you can lift your right heel up, lower, and then your left heel. Balance pops, right and left. Good, so think about kind of strengthening and opening the front of the foot, the ankle. Good, sit a little bit lower. Now see if you can lift both heels up. Good, bend your knees, sit a little bit lower. Lower both heels down. Good, both heels. Lower, hands to the mat, fold forward. Move your hips side to side. Now bring your left hand down underneath your face, stretch your right arm up. Twist to the side. Maybe you're bending your left knee, straightening your right leg. Good, and then fold, switch left or right hand underneath your face, stretch your left arm up and twist. And bend your right knee, straighten your left leg open. Good, and then hands come down, fold in. Bend your knees and round your spine to stand, come up. Circle your shoulders up, back and around. Good, up, back and around. Good, bring your feet together, bend your knees, place your hands on your knees and circle your knees around like this. Good, and then circle in the other direction. Good, and then stand up, step your feet wide, and then circle your hips a little bit. Like you're inside of a hula hoop. Let your knees become as soft and bent. And as you slowly make some circles with your hips, just kind of notice if your hips feel really tight as you go to the side, forward, to the back. Yeah, so doing these little circles, opening up. So our hips get really tight from sitting a lot, whatever. Lots of strengthening. Good, and then circle the other way. So we always want to find that like balance between strength and flexibility, effort and ease. Good, and then come back up. Circle your shoulders up, back and around. Up, back and around. And switch, circle your shoulders forward, down, back and around. Good, and then just squeeze your shoulders up. Drop your shoulders down. Good, stretch your left arm up. Circle it around and back, kind of like you're doing a back stroke, and look back at it, and then switch. Kind of opening up the fronts of your shoulders. Switch and switch. Reach both arms up. Now go right arm back, left arm forward. Good. Circle here. Nice, and then switch. Right arm forward, left arm back. No, it's like surprisingly challenging, isn't it? So if you go up and then just think like drop right arm forward, left arm back, like good, and then lower your arms down. Give everything a really good shape. You should get your hands and your wrists and your arms and your shoulders. And imagine you're just trying to like move and get everything kind of like jiggly and wiggly, and like shake out one leg, keep shaking your arms, or shake out your leg, and the other leg shake out, and then shake out your whole torso, and then like shake, and bob around, run in place, and shake your arms up and overhead. I know it's like kind of weird and awkward. Keep going, shake everything out. It's like waking up, shake it out. Think about like moving stress and energy, like shake, like keep shaking a little harder. And then get still. And place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Close your eyes and then feel your breath in your body. And just notice and pay attention how you feel. Inhale. Exhale. Lower your arms down by your sides. Inhale, stretch your arms up. And then exhale, forward fold hands to the mat. Bring your hands onto your shins. Look forward and lengthen your spine. Good, refold. Then plant your hands down and then walk your hands forward into plank position. Top of a push-up. Plank pose. Good, now look forward from here with your knees down, or right from here, lower chaturanga with a push-up. Good, all the way to the belly, and lift up your cobra, up dog. You look left, look right, and hip side to side. Nice. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Stretch your right leg up and back behind you. And then step your right foot forward between your hands. Good. Stretch your arms up for a high lunge position. Nice deep bend of your front knee. Good. Maybe kind of bend your back knee a little. Try to get your pelvis neutral. Good. Here, maybe roll your wrists a little. Circle. Flick. An option for a twist. Left arm forward, right arm back. Good. Rise back up, face forward, arms stretch high. Good. Lower your hands down and then drop your back knee down. Good. Stretch your front leg back. And straighten that leg. Bend into your front knee, shift forward. Good. Shift your hips back. And shift your hips forward. One more time. Shift your hips back and then hold it back. You can lift up and kind of bring your hands on top of that front leg if you're really tight. Maybe hands come down. Turn your toes out in, flex points. Good, and then rebend into your front knee, shift forward, hands come down with your back heel up. Rise all the way up again. Good, then lower your hands down. Right leg steps back to plank. Lower chaturanga, shift forward. Upward dog or cobra, find your back bend. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. Big exhale. Stretch your left leg up and back nice and high. Good, and then step it forward between your hands. Good, and then rise up. Good, so see if you can kind of bend your back knee a little bit to get that right hip in line with your left. Stretch up, maybe look up. Good. Option to circle your wrists and flick your fingers. And an option to add a twist, right arm forward, left arm back. Rise back up to center, arms stretch high. Good, lower your hands down. Drop your back knee, straighten your front leg, shift your hips back. Bend into your front knee as your hips shift forward. Shift back. Shift forward. Shift back and hold it in that stretch. Think left heel, dragging towards your right knee. You can come up a little if you're tight. Maybe hands come down, really folding. Maybe toes turn out. Toes turn in, point and flex. Good, rebend into your front knee, shift forward, hands down, tuck your back toes, lift the back knee up, rise up, high lunge. Good, lower your hands, step your left leg back to plank pose. From here, or with your knees down, chaturanga, yogi push-up. Good, upward dog or cobra. Back to child's pose. Good, you can always rest in child's pose or in tabletop position. Breathe in, breathe out. Deep breath in, big exhale. Good. Rise up into a tabletop position on all fours. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Tuck your toes, downward dog. Deep breath in, big exhale. Stretch your right leg up and back. Step it forward between your hands. This time, spin your back heel down and rise up for warrior one. Nice deep bend of your front knee. Arms stretch up, really kind of drop your shoulders down. Good, then see if you can kind of straighten your legs. Straighten that front leg, and then bend into your front leg. Good, so go straighten and bend. Good, bend and hold, and then open to the side of the mat for warrior two. So think about that front knee going forward over the middle of the foot, arms stretch out wide, shoulders drop down. Good, and then reverse your warrior. Take your left hand down your back leg, right arm goes up and over. Rise back up, shift forward, extended side angle, right forearm to thigh, left arm goes up, all the way up and over. Nice, rise back up, warrior two, and then straighten your front leg, triangle pose. You can heel toe your back foot in a little, shorten your stance. Take a full breath in, and then exhale as you pinch forward, right hand onto your shin, foot. Good, left arm stretches up. Think about drawing your chest back, hips go forward. Good, and then rise back up. Good, turn to face forward. Walk your right foot to the right, left foot to the left. Good, square your hips. Bring your hands behind your back so you can grab opposite elbows, or you can press your knuckles together. Lift up, and then hinge forward. Good, think about right hip back, left hip forward. Nice stretch, and see if we can hold that halfway point. Good, then lower your hands down. Maybe move your hips side to side. Maybe your hands are just on the front shin if that's not accessible. Good. And then from here, bend into your front knee. Step your left leg way back. Drop your back knee. Spin your left foot behind your left knee and kick your right leg to the right for a supported side plank. Good, right arm stretches up. Good, now from here, you can keep that right arm reaching or bring your right hand to your right hip. See if you can lift your right leg up and then lower it. So lift and lower, a little hip strength here, the little stabilizer muscle is so important. Good, hold the leg lifted, kick it forward, and then kick it back. Take your leg a little forward and back. Very nice. Good, now step your foot to the back of the mat and then rise up for gate pose. Arms stretch out. Shoulders over your hips. Again, maybe flip your fingers, wiggle your wrists. Good, take your right hand down your right leg. Stretch your left arm up and over. Good, rise back up. Now tuck your left toes and shift your hips back. Bring your hands in front of you. And see if you can kind of tuck your toes behind you and lean back. Maybe forearms come down and you keep your arms straight and feel a nice deep stretch in your inner right leg and that hamstring. Good, nice everyone. And then straighten your arms, lift your chest. Good, spin around to face forward, tabletop position. Good, cat-cow, arch your spine, lift your chest, lift your hips, gaze up. Good, point your toes around your spine, chin in. Come to a neutral, flat back position, and then tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back to down dog. Really spread your fingers wide and about evenly distributing the weight in the hands and the feet. Good, left leg stretches up, reach it high. Good, step the left foot forward, spin your back heel down, and rise up for warrior one, other side. So warrior one, you want to think about your hips spinning forward, your ribs spinning forward, nice deep bend of your front knee, arms lift, shoulders drop down, breathe. See if you're holding tension in your neck, see if you can relax your face, your neck. Good, now straighten your front leg and bend your front knee a little bit. See if you can straighten, good, and then bend one more time. Good, hold, and then open to the side of the mat for warrior two. Arms stretch out nice and wide, shoulders right over your hips, nice deep bend of your front knee. Good, straighten your arms and legs, rise up. Exhale, bend and lower. Inhale, straighten, reach. Exhale, bend and lower. One more time, rise up. Good, come down and hold, warrior two. Good, reverse your warrior, take it back. Rise back to warrior two, and then shift forward, extended side angle. Left arm to thigh, right arm reaches up, maybe overhead. Good, rise to warrior two, and then straighten your front leg. You can heel toe your back foot in, shorten your stance, preparing for triangle pose, reach up, and then hinge forward, and then come down. Left hand onto your shin, ankle, maybe the foot. Good, and then see if you can feel the stretch through your right side here, breathe. Good, rise back up. Turn to face forward, walk your left foot to the left. Step your right foot up to the right for pyramid pose. Bring your hands behind your back so you can grab opposite elbows or maybe fists turn towards one another. Good, maybe a little back bend, lift up. And then hinge forward. See if you can come about halfway and hold. Left hip back, right hip forward. Good, and then lower your hands down in a nice stretch. And if your hands don't touch, maybe hands come to the front of that left shin. Breathe. Good, and then walk your hands down, all the way down. Scooch that right leg back. Push your left foot down. Good. Then lower your right hand down. Spin your right foot behind your right knee and step your left leg to the back of the mat. So facing the inside wall. Supported side plank. You can be on your right fingertips or your fist or palm. Good. That left arm can stretch up or hand onto your hip. Flex your left leg and lift it to hip height. And then lower. Leg goes up and lower a couple times. Take your time. Good, and then lower your leg down and rise up for gate pose. Shoulders over your hips, arms stretch out wide. Take your left hand down your left leg, right arm goes up and over. Good, rise up, arms stretch out, tuck your right toes behind you, and then from here, shift back a little. Hands down in front of your legs, and you come to your elbows or forearms. From here, you can shift a little forward and back. See if you can feel that stretch in your inner left hamstring. Good, walk your hands back in, straighten your arms. Spin around and face forward, bring both knees down. Good, take another round of cat-cow, arch your spine, gaze up. Point your toes round, chin in. Good, come back to neutral, and we'll just do one more vinyasa. So tuck your toes and stretch your legs back, plank. Look forward, chaturanga. Good, come all the way to the belly, rise to cobra or up dog. And then back to downward facing dog. Good, walk your hands back to meet your feet. Come to the back of the mat and hold, bend your knees. Good, now walk your feet open toward the edges of the mat. Bend your knees and sink low into Malasana squat. Moving your heels in, toes out, and hands to the heart. Elbows press your knees open. And if this does not feel good in your body, you can bring your feet wider and stay a little more lifted, maybe hands on your thighs. So not as deep maybe. Good, and then if you have your heels down, maybe arms stretch forward a little bit. Good. And then see if you can come down into your bottom and stretch your legs forward. Good, give your legs a little shake, shake, shake. Give it a little wiggle. Maybe point your toes and flex your feet. Good, and then bring your hands onto your legs and just give your legs a little shake, 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 shake. And move like down the legs. A little shake, 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 shake. Now move the energy. Shake, shake, shake it. Good, flex and point. Good, move your seat a little side to side. Lift tall. And then reach your arms up. And then hinge forward, come down. Your fingers toward your toes. Maybe chin toward your shin. Maybe you're just grabbing your knees. So reach forward, forward, forward. And then slowly rise back up. Circle your shoulders up, back and around. Good, bring your hands behind your back. Bend your knees, plant your feet down, and then lift your hips up for reverse tabletop. Good, and then lower. Extend your legs out again. Cross your left leg over your right, like this. Good, hug your knee in. And then stretch your left arm up. Bring it behind you and twist towards the left. Maybe that elbow comes outside your knee. Inhale. Exhale. Come back towards the center and then counter twist the other side. Let your hands come down, let your chest down. Good, lift, and then uncross your leg and put your foot inside that leg. Maybe turn your right leg towards the side of the mat. Move a little side to side. And then inhale, get nice and tall, and then exhale, fold down. Good. Inhale, rise up, and drop your hands in a little more. And then exhale, lower. One more time, lift up. Lower down. Good, and then hold the stretch here. Again, you're reaching toward your toes, maybe you're drawing that left knee down and open. Breathe. And slowly take your time to rise back up. When you come back to the top, just pause. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Stretch your left leg straight. Give it a little shake, shake, shake. Maybe kind of windshield wipe your feet side to side. Bring your feet to center, and then bend your right knee into your chest. A little squeeze. Good. Pull in. And then wrap your arm around that leg and twist to your right. Inhale, get nice and tall. Exhale, twist. Maybe your elbow comes outside the knee to help guide you a little bit deeper. Breathe in. Exhale, twist. Good, and then come back towards center. And counter twist the other side. Let your hands come down. Good, lift back up. And then bring your sole of the foot inside that whole leg. Good. And that left leg, you can even draw down towards the bottom corner of your mat. Lift up nice and tall. And then fold forward. Reaching maybe towards your toes, to the outside of the foot. Breathe here. Notice and feel. And slowly rise back up. Shrug your shoulders up, back, and around. Hug your knee back in. Good, and then stretch it straight. Give your legs a shake, shake, shake. Good, now from here, bend your knees, put your feet on the mat. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And flex your foot. Good, think about kind of drawing that knee open. So if this is hard, bring your leg kind of away from you. Yeah. And then really think about flexing your foot, drawing your knee open, feel a stretch in your hip, move side to side. Good, and an option here to come down onto your back, grab behind your leg and lower down to figure four. You can also grab into the front of that left shin. Good. So a nice stretch for the outer hip. Now, And then slowly uncross your legs, place your feet down towards the edges of the mat, bend your knees. And then from here, just sway your knees a little side to side. Good. Bend your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze. And then see, you can rock a little up and down along your spine, up and down. And then rock all the way back up to seated. Let your feet down on the mat, hands behind you, lift your chest. Sway side to side. And then switch, cross your opposite leg. Breathe. Flex your foot, kind of draw your knee out, open the way. Make that bottom leg is almost straight if you're tight. Good. Now you can really roll your toes back and press that knee away from you, move side to side. And then stay here, then come down to your back. Maybe hand behind your thigh. You can grab the front of that right shin. Good. Really flex your left foot. Awesome. Breathe. See if you can relax your face. Breathe a little bit deeper. Last breath here. Good. And then uncross your legs and bend your knees, plant your feet down on the mat. Good. Sway your knees a little side to side. A little swish, a little sway. And then walk your feet right back underneath your knees. Good. Bring your arms down by your sides and then lift your hips up for bridge pose. Good. Now see if you can kind of squeeze your glutes here. Imagine you're going to pull your heels back and in, so engage the back of your legs. Good, and then slowly lower your spine back down. Walk your feet toward the edges of the mat and drop your knees in towards one another. And that internal rotation. Yeah, good. And walk your feet back to center, right underneath your knees. And one more bridge, or option to do a full wheel. Hands underneath your shoulders, straight arms and legs. Lift all the way up or bridge, lift your hips, knees down. Wheel only if you feel like warmed up, ready for it. Awesome, beautiful. And slowly lower down. Take your time. Nice and slow. And then bend your knees into your chest and give yourself a squeeze. Rock side to side. Maybe a little forward and back. Good. And now let your knees drop down to the right. Open your arms to a T and gaze to the left. Spinal twist. Feel a stretch along the front of your chest. Breathe. And then come to center, hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze. Rock side to side, move forward and back. And then let your knees drop over to the left. Open your arms out to a T, gaze to the right. Back to center, knees draw into your chest, give yourself a nice big squeeze. And then release and lower all the way down into your back. Your legs go long, let your arms come down by your side, kind of away from your palms up. Take a deep breath in. And then let a nice long, slow exhale out through your mouth. Good, so final Shavasana, final relaxation pose. Breathe in, exhale. Let your body get heavy, feel a sense of softness, relaxation. And it's quiet here, breathing in, letting go. Feel your Skin relaxing over the muscles. Muscles softening out the bones. Bones feel heavy. Deep rest. Start to breathe a little bit deeper through your nose and out through your nose and pay attention. Let's see. Your belly rise and fall. Just notice how you feel now and maybe a difference between how you feel now and how you felt when you first began. You feel a little more centered, calm, or open, or maybe more tired. Just whatever it is you feel, just notice with non-judgment, breathing in, letting go. And then as you're ready, slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rotate your ankles and your wrists. Turn your head from side to side. And then stretch your arms up and your feet down. Lengthen your body from the top of the body straight. And bend your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. You can rock from side to side, forward and back. And from here, roll your right side and pause there. You can make a pillow with your arm and kind of resting on your side. And then nice and slow, take your time to press back up into a seated position. Stay nice and tall. Bring your hands at your heart, palms touching. Just an gesture of gratitude as you close the practice here. Breathing in and letting go. And noticing how you feel. Another breath. Close our practice with just kind of a little bow in, reverence and gratitude to this practice, the body, all of our teachers. Namaste. Hi, everyone. How do you feel? So tired? More tired? A little less. Does anyone need a break? Are you guys good? Just move right through. Ben, you were late. Can you stay after? I'll talk. And you weren't here on Thursday, right?
No, that's not good. They told me I could do the question.
Oh, okay. And we lost someone on here. Hannah. Okay. So we're just gonna do some lecture, and then you guys will go early. How was everyone's meditation the other day? Did anyone remember to do that? Yeah. Okay. Good. So since like our class time is allotted, and we're not like spending that whole time, that extra like hour you get, pretty much. I want you to spend at least like 5, 10, 15 to 20 minutes meditating. So that can mean listening to a guided meditation, maybe just like sitting, or before you go to bed, really just noticing and listening to your breath. So really trying to like integrate what we're learning, that like practice into the body. So today we're going to talk about the Yoga Sutras, which we've talked a little bit about in the past. In your textbook, The Heart of Yoga, there's a whole translation of the Yoga Sutras in there. How's everyone's reading going too? Has anyone done the reading yet? So that's going to be due towards like the end of the semester. So we might have like a pop quiz on that, something like that. But just make sure you have that book and you do the reading. So we're talking about the Yoga Sutras. Did we do this at all? Like, did we go over the first and second sutra? Does anyone remember? No? Okay, well, if we did, you didn't remember. Okay, so the Yoga Sutras are one of the most important texts in yogic philosophy. And what it is, it's 195, or some say 96 sutras, or suture, like a thread, or like terse aphorism. So it means like a short phrase, like a sentence, sometimes isn't even like grammatically correct, and it has a big universal teaching. And traditionally, you would learn a sutra, memorize it. You'd learn it from a teacher, and then I think it's better for like airflow to keep the doors open. So it's a short sentence with a big universal truth. And you used to kind of memorize the sutra and then like go to your teacher and present what you've learned with your own little commentary. So it's a phrase, and then you connect like your own interpretation to that sutra, to your own life, and then kind of to the greater texts. So we're going to go over the first 4 sutras. So they're from the first chapter, And the first one, Yoga Sutra 1.1, goes Atha Yoga Nishasana. And now yoga begins, or now union is revealed, right? Because yoga means union, to yoke, connection. So it's important to note that the first word of that first sutra begins with an A, Atha. So it's like very auspicious. It's like Atha means like now we are beginning to study, now we commence the practice of yoga. And I think the takeaway in this first sutra is about presence. So now we begin, and we can always start over at any time. Have you ever heard the phrase like, it's never too late to start your day over? So it's like you can restart in like the afternoon or the evening, just be like, I'm gonna like put it aside and start fresh, like wake up and like do it again. So now yoga begins, now the teachings of yoga start. So Atha, a prayer, the first letter of the alphabet, a blessing to be bestowed on us as we study yoga. And with presence, if you think about if we are clinging to our past, or if we're like projecting and worrying about the future, we're robbing ourselves of the gift of the present moment. Because there's so much to learn right now, and there's so much to like be grateful for and feel in this present moment. So when we're not present, we're really depriving ourselves of like a very wonderful experience. And a lot of people spend so much time in their head, like thinking about the past, and I could have done this differently, and maybe I'd be here if I did this, or just like going down rabbit holes of like imagination, or like down here. And I believe that the present moment has so much to teach us. Has anyone ever read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle? It's a really good book, classic spiritual book. So yeah, the present moment is just really powerful and important to connect. So that's like my biggest understanding of the first sutra. Now yoga begins, or now union is revealed. So the second sutra, Yoga Sutra 1.2, goes Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So yoga is the taming of the mental activities, the stilling of the fluctuations of the thoughts. So if you think about, if anyone asks you like, oh, what is yoga? You took yoga this semester, like, isn't it just like stretching and breathing? You can say, yeah, like we did sun salutations, we did a lot of stuff like that, but I also learned that yoga is all about like focusing your mind and controlling your thoughts, taming the mental activities. So from this perspective, when we were talking about the 8 limbs of yoga, that 8th limb, that samadhi absorption, is the place we'll get after we've done all these things. We've like taken our inventory with our yamas and niyamas. We practice our asanas, postures, and our breath, and then we're able to tap into that state of yoga, which is quieting the thoughts. So yoga, union, chitta is the mind, vritti is the activities, and nirodha is the restraint. So you're trying to restrain the chitta vrittis, the mental activities. And has anyone ever like felt like your mind is racing, or you like go down a rabbit hole, or like you're having like really dark thoughts and you're like, what's gonna happen with the election? Like everyone's gonna like riot, like, you know, like you're just like thinking of like things and you're just like scared or anxious or nervous. And maybe like when you were going through the college application process, I remember that was really stressful for me. So when we tap into our yoga practice, we can zoom out, like see ourselves and think like, okay, I'm experiencing some anxiety or fear or projection, and I'm gonna like remove myself, pause, maybe like do some movement, do some shaking, do some breathing, and then I'm gonna realize that like this is all out of my control. I'm gonna do everything I can in this situation, and then like release the rest, like let the results go and just do my best, and that's all I can do. So that's the second sutra, the definition, the classical definition, like the center, the crux of yoga philosophy. Yoga is the quieting of the mental activities of the mind. And so the first 4 sutras really go together. So it's like Yoga Sutra 1, now yoga begins, now union is revealed. 2, yoga is the quieting of the mind. And the third sutra, Yoga Sutra 1.3 talks about what happens if we, when that happens. So tada drastu svarupe vastanam. Then the seer abides in the form of the self. So tada is then, drastu, self, or seer, or consciousness, svarupe, self form, and avastanam, abiding. So drastu also kind of means like our truest self. Purusha Atman, the part of us that is eternal, exists beyond space and time. So when the mental activities have been made quiet, the true self establishes. So I believe that our true nature is peace and like joy, and like we're here to like live a happy, fulfilled life, and that's like our birthright, is to be like happy and joyful. So this sutra for me makes me think about like, what is our true self? What's our true purpose? You know, some people may have been raised, it's like your purpose is to like grow up and stay out, travel and go to college and graduate on time and get a good paying job, and buy a big house and like have a great career and have a family and make a lot of money and travel and like have 1 million followers on Instagram and like all the things you may have been like told, like this is what life is, this is what you should do. And so this sutra invites us to really think about what our true nature is. So like deep down, like what is, who are we? So I also think that we all can have these little moments of samadhi, of like bliss, all the time throughout the day. We might be having them when we don't even realize. So like in Shavasana, for example, lying down at the end of class, we feel like super relaxed. And I think it's really like valuable to living a happy life is just to like pay attention and like slow down and maybe find like when you're joyful or happy for no reason, or when you can like really get into that like flow state and just like not want to look at your phone and just like enjoy your life and like be with your friends or be out in nature or like run with your body, whatever it is that like makes you really happy. Have more moments of that to make us feel really whole. And so there's a visualization with this sutra. If you think about a mountain reflected in the surface of a lake. So our mountain, the mountain represents like our soul, our true self, our Purusha, and the lake represents our consciousness. And the chitta is those thoughts, those vrittis are the ripples and movement of the water. So when the mind is still, you know, the lake, our consciousness, our true self is reflected like clearly in the surface of the lake. So once the mind is crystal clear, we begin to perceive the objects of the world the way they are, and our perception is no longer distorted. So we can use this sutra to affirm our feelings, meet thoughts and feelings with assurance. Yeah, and I think that is a really important part too, about like seeing clearly, like beyond our own lens, like beyond our own limitation, like whatever, like maybe our friend group or our family or coaches or teachers may have taught us, and like what we believe is the truth. Maybe it's not for someone else, or just like kind of understanding like our upbringing or our opinions, and just kind of removing ourselves and thinking maybe even like globally, like what our life is as United States citizens and what something might be for someone in like a developing country who's had like no education and no access to technology, and so that kind of thing. And then I think it's really powerful when we can see other people's opinions and understand other people's upbringings and ideas. We can have like that yoga, that union, that connection working better overall for everyone. And hopefully it'll help us have more empathy and compassion for other people. So it's the third sutra. Then the seer abides in the true self. And the fourth sutra, so those first four go together, is kind of the warning if you don't do those first three. So vritti svarupanam itatra. So otherwise, we identify with the activities of the mind. So vritti, the modifications, right? Svarupa assumes the true identity, and itatra at other times. So if we're not resting in our true nature, we're identifying with the vrittis, all the fluctuations, and we identify with the temporary states we are in. So you can think about this like if you are feeling really depressed, maybe you've been diagnosed with depression and someone wants to put you on medication. So then they give you a diagnosis and say you're depressed. Like you have depression, and that's like an identity. Like, oh, my name is Ruth and I'm depressed. Or like anxiety, it's like I'm feeling really anxious, and then you get this like identity, like I'm an anxious person, I have an anxiety disorder, like I'm anxious. And we identify ourselves with our mind, with our thoughts, and with like temporary feelings, right? So even turning the phrase around, it's like, oh, my name is Ruth and I've been feeling some feelings of depression. Like that's not me, that's my true form, but like my emotions are feeling depressed. So it's kind of like removing yourself. And I think that's also important to think about with how we can really get tied to our identities. Like, oh, like I'm a football player, I'm a baseball player, I'm on the lacrosse team. It's like your whole life you've just been like training, just like I'm a lacrosse player, I'm a lacrosse player, I'm gonna go here. And then maybe all of a sudden you get injured and you can't play lacrosse anymore. And you're like, oh, what do I do now? Like, what is my identity? And this happens a lot with like Olympic athletes. Like there's this thing that's been studied like after the Olympics, there's just like this like depression. Athletes are just like, what do I do now? You've been working so hard on this goal, and that's like your identity, that's what you're all about. And then it's over and you're like, what next? What do I do now? So that's why this sutra is kind of warning us not to get too identified with our mind and the vrittis. So knowing that like deep down in our spirit and our soul is our true self, right? That like union and that peace. So it's the fourth sutra. Otherwise, identification with the activities of the mind. And Eckhart Tolle, who I was just sharing, wrote the book The Power of Now, and he has another beautiful book called The New Earth. It says this thing that I think really connects to this. He says, to know yourself as the being underneath the thinker, the stillness underneath the noise, the love and joy underneath the pain is freedom, salvation, enlightenment. So knowing yourself underneath the thinker, like your true self, your true form. So those are the first 4 Yoga Sutras in the first chapter. That's kind of like the crux of yoga philosophy. And I'll just share one more, which I think is also a really great sutra to kind of apply to your own life. So it's Yoga Sutra 1.12. So kind of bopping around 1.2. And it goes Abhyasa Vairagya Baham Tanarodaha. So by practice and by non-attachment, that restraint of the mind is achieved. So it talks about these 2 elements, right? So like practice and non-attachment. You can also think about it like hard work and like fire and effort, and then letting go. So we want to like put our best self forward and then let go and release like the achievements. So the results. And there's a lot of that kind of thing in yoga. Like we practice really hard and we come and we show up and we do our like flow. And then maybe we're like really working towards one pose, and then we just like release and let go and like let the results like show for themselves. So hard work, effort, practice, and then release and let go. And that probably you've all had an experience like that, like maybe studying for like the SAT, ACT, you do all you can, you study, and then right before you're like, nothing left now, I'm just gonna relax, release, let it go. Or like in sports, like you train, you practice, and then right before your game, you're like, okay, I've done everything I can, I've prepared for this moment, and now I'm gonna release and let go of that, like non-attachment. Or with
school with like a paper or a test. You hand it in, you take your test, you've done everything, and then you have to release and kind of see what happens. So it's this balance of like never give up and like always surrender. Like do your best, work hard, and then kind of let that go, release. So that's another sutra that I think is kind of applicable. So I think that's it for today. We'll come back on Thursday. Just a little insight into one of the yoga texts, Yoga Sutras. So be sure to do your meditation, a minimum of 5 minutes, up to 20 minutes or more on Insight Timer. You can YouTube a guided meditation or just try to notice your thoughts, quiet your mind. And your mindfulness journals, 1 entry for every class. We're still reading, and that's it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
About, you said pop quiz.
Mm-hmm.
We used to know how to spell, especially, okay.
Yeah.
You say those words. And I'm
Right.
like,
Right, the Sanskrit, no, definitely not. And I'll let you know if that's gonna happen. So you'll know like the date you need to do your reading by and all that. Yeah. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being here.